Hello friends, you're probably wondering why I'm sat next to a quite large, moving animatronic Knex parrot. But there's a whole backstory to this. I was trying to teach the kids about cams because my dad dropped off a little cam mechanism a few weeks ago. So this is the cam mechanism my dad dropped off. And I like this because I remember playing with this when I was a kid. And now my kids have played with it too. It's really simple. We all know how it works. These things spin round. It's a off-center pin through a circle, and it just moves these little things up and down and spins them a little bit too. This was the height of children's entertainment in 1837. So I thought it'd be really cool if I could make the same mechanism drive a bird's wings up and down. So I've drawn this up in CAD. It's a really simple design. There's a central pivot that goes up and down and oscillates forwards and backwards slightly. And following that, with a nice symmetry on each wing, the three pivot points, which are, I think, around 30 degrees out of phase. So there's a nice lead in the middle and then the wings follow. So, in a desperate bid to salvage this terrible print, I covered the entire thing in glue, put some metal rods in to support everything together, and hoped for the best. And we got the bird shape out of the paper and just glue tacked it onto the little.
Shall we go upstairs and show Mummy?
Mummy will come down and see it when she wants to wake up. So the next challenge is, can I make this out of Knex, the world's greatest toy? So, this is my central rocker plate. That's for range of motion. It's going to have three pillars that go up the centre to hold the weight of the model. And I haven't really thought about the rest of it. This is part of the structure. It's reasonably strong, so I'm expecting it to be reasonably heavy. Well, we'll build it and find out how it looks. So I've got the rocker mechanism at the top, which follows down to the drive mechanism. Very straightforward drive mechanism. A little bit of a pain because of the width of this with the three lengths. I've had to widen this whole chassis section out, so it's not a standard blue bit length. It's wider than that. It's a little bit wider, so I've had to space out. You can see on this side really nicely, space out that side. But as I turn it, you get the really nice motion that I'm after with the bird going up, flips back, so it gets like, it looks like it's waving through the sky. So I'm at that nice proof of concept stage. You can see where I'm up with this. I've got the central thing running and one single wing on the side. As I rotate this, it's very, very hard to manually spin with the hand. But it's, you're achieving a nice flapping motion, I think. So, as proof of concepts go, you can see it's got the linkage now across both and two wings. And it's going to be a controlled speed, because it'll be motor driven, so that's a bit jerky. But once it's controlled, you can really see the flapping take effect. It's hard when I'm holding this up, it's much easier on the floor. But, yeah, it's looking alright. It's rocking backwards and forth. Oh, it looks really nice. I'm excited to see this one as a complete build, but I think sculpting a bird that can actually flap its wings is going to be a real challenge. I retrofitted. I wanted to just check the torque, whether this motor needed any additional gearing, but you can see the absolute mess of the build, because that motor has had to be offset by, well, this additional space here and this space here. But you can see it's got enough torque to give it that lovely little flapping effect. And now, the flapping mechanism on this has been a serious technical challenge because, as you can see, using these two ends that go up and down, I want to make it so the entire wing moved much more organically. So we've got the centre, and then it has a much more of a curve to it than you would normally have. So the entire thing hopefully will look quite elegant and smooth as the entire thing moves. But yeah, this has been a bit of a challenge to get this motion going down. Got a little head here, wing shape, and then having moving, whatever might work, we'll see. Okay, so I spent about an hour sculpting my parrot head. Looks pretty good. It's a little bit bigger than I want it to be, but it's tough to get anything like a sculpted shape with this number of parts, really. Genuinely difficult to achieve anything that even looks slightly organic. just with the limitation of the number of parts I've got to work with. Now, we've encountered a little bit of trouble with the weight of the head attached. It's putting a lot of loading on this centre. Moving it around though, to make it actually work, I've had to add this little gearbox section. So it's no longer direct driven, it's stepped down. Really straightforward. Actually works out quite nicely because of the spacing here, which is it's good. So now, if I apply a little bit of power, you can see it's happily flapping. Oh, is that going to focus? It's not quite focusing on this. So, I've started making work on the tail and the body. Looks quite good from above. It's got some big old wings that need driving. It's getting a bit heavy, but doesn't look horrendous at this point. I think it looks quite sharp with this design. So it's got a red head, yellow body here, red bits around here onto the wings, and then blue tips. So here's a quick update of the sculpting so far. He's got his nice tail coming on, and he's expanding a little bit. But I'm just working on the coloration. So yellow on the top, red to the sides, blue on the tips. Now, the problem with this stage of the build is that because of the amount of motion I want in it, it's getting really quite challenging to build it. I'm having to start it like every time I add a couple of pieces, I'm having to like keep it moving so I can see what's happening with the build. I've adjusted the header here because as it was knocking back and forth, my wife said it was like it was nosediving a lot, which apparently parrots don't do. So if I just power up now, you can see the motion. It's now leaning a lot further back. You see its wings going. So I've finished it off. I think it looks quite nice. Lovely wings on each side, nice tail, nice sculpture, nice shape overall. Don't know if the video does it justice, to be honest. It looks very cool in person. Now, a couple of things to notice. I've kept the weight in the wings very, very low. So it's very hollow. It's the impression of a wing as opposed to any actual form, because these flexi rods have taken all the weight at this point. So there's a lot going on there with the flexi rods holding it all up. That's been a real challenge. Also, as we've discussed, keeping it so it can move around at these points. It's a little clunky, but it does have quite an organic sort of folding to it. It looks quite nice. In terms of support, I've had to sturdy all of this up, like massively, so it's a lot more cumbersome than I've hoped. There's a counterweight there, because as it goes up and down, the bird is very, very heavy. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks nice. So all in all, I think it looks really cool. The wing shape I'm happy with. The wing colour, I don't know, well, this is from the video, but the wing colour is nice. And the mechanism has done its job. I've been able to demonstrate to the kids a little bit about how cams operate. Unfortunately, I think with this specific build, we sort of reached the physical limitations of what you can do with the toy. You can really see the effort that's going into making it flap and move around. And with that, its body is twisting. By the time the motion's gone through the two shafts to this side, it's introduced this twist. Right, so I've taken the whole thing apart because it's clear it's not quite flapping. And the problem, I think, is essentially the linkage is just too resistant to movement. So I think if I hold the body still on a fixed point, pivot these arms up and down a little bit, and then I can pivot the end here as well, I get a lot more movement. So I think I need to scrap off the face, because it's rubbish, rebuild it so centre's still, it doesn't go up and down, and these just do that. Doddle. That's an easy build. So here we have the Mark II build of the frame is complete. So the parrot's basically the same, that looks about the same. The supports are a little bit more robust than I've hoped because they look a bit industrial, which isn't ideal, and the stand sort of is what it is, unfortunately. The drive mechanism is quite interesting because of the last one of the wings was moving before the other wing, so it looked really disjointed. And that's why it was doing this rotation. So with this, I've adjusted the linkage, so the motor's on this side, but it drives power more evenly through everything. Because the centre's not moving, it's just driving the wings up and down now. So this is a really elegant sort of solution. The motor's on here, drives via this linkage to this side, and there's a split gear system, so the torque's loaded across two of these red gears rather than just the one. So it's more of an even distribution of power. When it's running, it draws about 300 milliamps at 12 volts, which is quite. It's okay. The motors can handle it quite happily. But yeah, the base is a bit more industrial, ruggedized than I've liked, unfortunately. But if I just power it up and power it on, its flapping is quite nice. So these are on slightly different timings. So it lifts the middle up and then lifts the outer and does a hard flap down. So, all in all, I'm actually quite happy with this as a product. It's been really educational for the kids because they've got to see how these different cam mechanisms work. So this, from the side, you can see this one is spinning and lifting up, and then it straightens out and uses this mechanism here to keep the centerpiece aligned. Basically the opposite of how a steam engine works, where you'd have this piece moving up and down, driven by steam, and that would cause the rotation at the bottom. Anyway, thank you very much for watching me and my bird. Oh, what was that piece?